Hello, I am going to share some stuff today because I just realised I haven't been on here live for a long time, so I wanted to come on here and have a chat. Now, I am running a special end of financial year special sale at the moment, so I wanted to just talk through a few of the things that are in there just in case this is relevant for you or not, and why I've created them in the first place. So the first one in there, I'm just going to have a look to the side to make sure I cover all the things in here as well. The first one that's in there is a 5-day boost your conversion rate. Now, anyone who is subscribed to the podcast would see I just dropped a podcast which is all about conversion rate on your website. And it's one of those things that people are like, oh yeah, I think I know what it is, or I'm trying to work on it, but you might not have done as much as what you could to make sure that you're maximizing your conversion rate or your add to cart rate on your website. Anyway, go listen to the podcast, listen to all the different details about what that means and how that is worth your time and the investment in looking at that and understanding that, because there's no point sending all the people doing all your content, creating Facebook ads and doing all your, creating your products if no one's buying it when they go to the website. So go check that out. If it is something that you need help with and you know that you could boost or you could change your conversion rate, then the first deal that I have available on my specials is a boost your conversion rate, which goes through all the how-to of do that on your website. Because I know one of the barriers that people have is like, yeah, I know my website isn't great, but I'm not sure how to do anything about it, or I just have no idea how to make these changes or tweaks. So to see everyone joining in, so welcome. And so make sure that you go and understand what yours is, and if you need help and if you want a way and practical solution of how to make tweaks and changes, then check out that first one, which is 5 days to boost your conversion rate. And as well, I have bundled in there my SEO Booster Masterclass. Now, again, I'm talking about this today because I spoke to a few clients and one of them was like, I really don't understand what SEO is and how it can help me. And so it is just not a whole program on SEO because I don't even understand all the details of it. But what it is the SEO Booster is how you load products every day onto your website, what ways you do it, and a checklist for how to do that so that you can, you or whoever's loading it for you, a VA or your, staff or anyone else who might be helping you, so that every time you load your product up, you are helping yourself with your SEO, so that it's not just something an agency can do for you, which you may have happen as well. Sorry, my microphone's there. But it's something that you can work with every day. Every time you load up a product, you can just tweak and improve to help you with people finding you. So, and I think the more people who can find you via SEO, the greater your chance of conversion rate too, is because those people are looking to solve a problem. Those people who find you that way, they are looking for that. So they've gone onto Google, they've gone onto somewhere to search, or they've looked at a hashtag or whatever, and they've gone, I'm trying to find, this particular product, or I'm trying to find something for this solution. Like I'm trying to find lighting right now for my studio that I'm trying to fit out. And I'm like, Googling particular words to try and find the lighting that I'm after. So the more you can help people like that who are actually searching for something, the, more you'll convert because they're trying to solve that problem in the first place. All right. So number 2 deal, geez, I'm only up to number 2, is the pricing wonder sheet. Now, this is one of those things that, again, nearly everything I've created has come about because it is a need or fulfilling a problem that someone else has had when I've worked with them. So the pricing wonder sheet has come about from years and years and years of me having my own product, my own brand, figuring out whether I should go ahead with the production of a product or not, figuring out whether it's worth wholesaling or distributing, figuring out what I need to set the price in for exporting because I, got to check out the conversion rate, or understanding how I can reduce the landed cost of my product because you can see all the different elements of what goes into your product costing. And then having that idea of how to work with manufacturers too. Like if you're trying to find a new product or you're releasing a new product or you're sourcing a new manufacturer, you've got to have some idea about what you want your target prices to be, because that's the start of your relationship with them. If you are contacting manufacturers, you're like, I need to be able to achieve this landed price to, say, for Australia, if you're in Australia. So therefore I need to know what, working backwards, what I need maybe my cost price of the product to cost, because I need to include, shipping and import duties and whatever else might you have in their packaging too. So my product pricing product wonder sheet is all about how to price your product, but also looking at your production costs and how you can manage that. What are the elements to your pricing? What are your target pricing? All that sort of stuff is in my product pricing wonder sheet, as well as my mindset guide too, which really helps you figure out and move through some of the limiting beliefs you may have about pricing, about affordability, about your worth, about how to set that pricing too. Because when I talk about this wonder sheet, it's just one way to set your pricing, not the only way to have your products priced as well. All right. Moving on, number 4 is I know I've missed number 3, but I talked about number 3, SEO, in the other first part, which is in a bundle. So number 4 is my ultimate marketing vault. And I've created this because, again, after working with clients, in my roadmap program, in my wholesale program, people are like, oh, okay, I know how to price my product now. I know how to sell wholesale, but how do I actually market my product? What are the different strategies I can use besides social media? Because I love Instagram. Here I am on Instagram right now, but it is not the only way to actually market yourself. My product business started way before Instagram existed, before social media existed. And so what, sort of things that people still did then, and what sort of things you can do now that don't include only social media. And I think you should have a social media presence. I think Instagram is super important as a product business because that's probably where your customers are, but it's not the only thing you can do. So what are the other things you can do? I go through all of that in my ultimate marketing vault in terms of the marketing planning, the strategy, how to use email marketing, how to use Pinterest, if you're running a sale, how to run a sale, how to run a promotion, what does the imagery look like, what does your content need to look like that matches that. What else is in there? The best sale. Yeah, it is social media marketing a bit in there as well as that power of Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Pinterest is one of my favorite things. All right, so there's lots of stuff in there that's a get more sales, and that's a huge bundle because I bundled all those things. I'm like, you need to know, you can't have a product business if you don't know how to, use SEO, which I just talked about. You can't have a product business if you don't know how to use email marketing, because you cannot just attract customers, you have to nurture them, and it has to be part of your ongoing marketing practices that you use email marketing. So that's definitely in there. And then as a generalization, if people say to me, okay, Mel, I'm going to have a sale, I'm going to do a promotion. I'm like, great, how many sales? And this is an exact conversation I had. How many emails are you planning? They're like, oh, I did 2 last time. I did, one to start it off and 1 at the last day. And I'm like, no. You cannot just have 2 emails when you're running a promotion. And it's not to say you have to have 50 emails, but it's this very strategic about what sort of emails you include in a promotion to actually have a successful sale promotion if you're running one. And, you might get sick of them. If you're on my email list, you might be like, oh, enough emails already. I've had enough. That's fine. Don't open them. That's okay. Or unsubscribe. You've got to let that go and move on from people who don't want to be there, and just let them go. There's plenty more people who will want to get the information and share as well and find out about it. Sorry. And then 2 left to go. I have the half price business coaching. Now, when I do business coaching, I have an hour of power, which is essentially an hour, but we get a whole lot of stuff that's done beforehand in terms of questionnaire, figuring out, what yours looks like. I do a review of your website, go through what your, social media looks like, what your presence looks like, where your stockers are, what your pages on your website are, all that sort of stuff. And then we have that questionnaire to go through what's important for you to focus on, and then I do a review for you afterwards of the things that we've talked about in that session. So it's an hour of power that really goes for a bit longer than that, and you get to really focus on where you are in your specific space in your business and what things you need help with, and really move forward and figure out what are the areas that you could spend your time on first, or what are the things that you should focus on as well. All right. So that's an hour of power, which is half price. Sorry, should have said that as well. And then my last one in there, the bonus one I added, was the transform your wholesale. If you're still here, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I can see a few of you in the chat as well are in my program, the wholesale program. That is for you if you have any inkling that you want to wholesale, or if you're like, I just don't know where to get started, or I've been trying and it hasn't been working, these are the things that you should be doing to make sure that you make wholesale a strong revenue stream in your business. And I go through, 4 to 5 different modules, weeks I call them, but you can dive into them at any stage. Really diving into what wholesale should be for your business, how to not just achieve wholesale stockists, but maintain the relationships, build them up, have consistency in your sales. What are the automations? What are the setups you need? What does your catalog need to look like? Bear with Bub, if you're still here, I can see that, we obviously talked about that the other day. There's lots of things in there that we would cover. And so that is available in my end of financial year deal as well. And then those of us who I haven't talked about on here, it's not on my special, but if you're interested, let me know. My roadmap program is something that covers all of these things, as well as the group coaching. So that's my all-encompassing signature offer. The roadmap program covers all of this stuff, as well as more, as well as group coaching. So that's something that I have in there as well. All right, I've really spoken a lot and I have to go, so I shouldn't have started this at this time because I have to go somewhere before 5 o'clock. If you have any questions, let me know. If you comment end of financial year deal, you'll get access to, I should have told you that at the start, you'll get access to the specials, and they go for another 6 hours, so make sure you check that out. Just comment comment EOFY and you will get access to everything. There's lots of things on there that are finished at 6 o'clock, 6 hours at 10 o'clock today. So check that out. And I hope I've covered all the questions and things that you might have. I've rambled and talked a lot, I know, and I talk fast and I move fast and use my hands a lot. So I hope that hasn't overwhelmed anyone with all the information that I've just covered. But definitely check it out if you are looking to, like, how can I make more sales? How can I actually market my business? How can I price my product? How do I wholesale? Like, all these things that I see come up again and again and again. When you've got a product business, there is more to D2C. It's not just about selling on your own website. So, but if you are, how do you market it to get people there in the first place? All right, speak to you soon.